Okay, in this video we'll see uh, some more circuits. Okay, assume that we have a situation where I have a signal which is of something like this, which is a sinusoidal waveform, so which is centered around 0 volt. Then this is time, so this is 1 volt, and of course this is minus 1 volt. Suppose assume that if a circuit requires, or if there is a requirement where I have to shift this entire waveform to above 0. So assume that I want to have it something like this. So whatever minus 1 volt you have should be 1 volt, and whatever 1 volt you have should become 3 volt. So you can see the entire negative half cycle has been shifted from minus 1 volt to plus 1 volt. And of course simultaneously when this minus 1 goes to plus 1, this 1 will go to 3. So it is actually shifted up by 2 volts. It is not only shifting up, so I may need to have something like this. A waveform should be coming down. So assume that earlier it was 1 volt. Suppose you want to make it at 0.5, so then this will be at minus 1.5. So assume that if the requirements are such that where you are asked to shift the voltage, shift the waveform either towards positive cycle or positive half of the DC voltage, negative half of the DC voltage, so we have to find out which circuit. So it's actually you are inserting some DC voltage onto this. So this here in this case the DC voltage inserted is positive. In the second case the DC voltage that is inserted is negative in nature. So we have to find out some circuit where you can able to insert some DC component into that AC signal, so that output can be shifted above or below the reference of 0 volt, whatever we have considered at the input. So let us consider one such circuit which can help in realizing something like this. So let us consider a circuit having a capacitor and a diode here like this. So let me just consider this. So this is a capacitor, this is diode, and let me ground this. So let me apply an input voltage. So let us assume that this is a sinusoidal input voltage. So assume that this is going something like this. This is 0, and assume that this is some x volts. So let us assume that this x volts is far greater than 1, so that this diode can able to conduct. So for the time being, so let us assume that this diode is an ideal diode. So this diode is an ideal diode, meaning that any positive voltage that is applied to this diode, it will going to start conducting the thing. So but in practical, this diode requires some V gamma, that is cut-in voltage, to be applied between uh, anode and cathode, so that it starts conducting. So let us assume that we have an input voltage, so which is increasing from 0. So let us see how does the output voltage look like. Okay, here you have the input voltage and you have a capacitor. So as soon as the positive voltage is applied onto this, so on this left hand side of the plate, so we will start getting the positive charges accumulated because of the positive of the cycle. We know that because of the capacitive action, if one end of the plate gets, if one side of the plate gets positive voltage, the other side has to get the negative potential. Now this has to get the negative charges on the right hand side of the capacitor plate. So this negative charge has to come from the other side, that is from the diode. So this diode will be happy to give this negative voltage onto this capacitor, because upon giving negative charges, this will become positive. So whenever this becomes positive, this diode starts conducting, meaning whenever you apply the positive voltage to this capacitor, that is onto the left hand side, left hand plate of the capacitor, so because of these positive charges, the negative charges are accumulated here, which is now being supplied by the diode, which in turn turns on, because whenever it loses negative charges, this will become positive. Whenever this is positive, since we are assuming that this sorry, this diode is an ideal diode, whenever the voltage becomes greater than 0, whenever it leaves a negative charge, this is becoming more and more positive. By that time this diode starts conducting. So when it starts conducting, if you can see here, so the equivalent circuit of this, once the diode starts conducting, would look like this. So now what you have is this look like something like this. This will get shorted. So what we are talking is, so as the capacitor voltage is increasing from 0 to some, let us in that this is time t1. So from 0 to t1 capacitor is keep on charging. So till that point this capacitor will go to capacitor voltage will be keep on building. So now, okay, during whenever this diode is on, this looks like short circuit. So output is almost equal to 0 volt. Output is almost equal to 0 volt because this diode is on. So this will be the condition for time between 0 and t1. So from time 0 to t1, suppose if I consider this as a time from 0 to t1, the diode is on. Suppose if I write the diode voltage as green one, sorry, the output voltage as green one, which is nothing but the voltage across the diode. Can you see now this is output voltage is 0. So we know that, okay, this is V in, so this is VC. Suppose if I say this is the capacitor voltage, if I say this as V naught plus minus, so as per the KVL, can I write V in is equal to VC plus V naught? Since V naught equal to 0, I can say VC is equal to V in, meaning during the first half or the first quarter of your input voltage from 0 to T1, when the input voltage keep on increasing, the diode was started conducting and it was looking like a short circuit. Whenever it is looking like a short circuit, the output voltage is 0, because this, you can see this is connected to ground, the voltage is 0. But how about the applied voltage? Applied voltage is now charged, it is now stored across the capacitor. So the capacitor voltage now will be keep increasing like this. So capacitor voltages keep on increasing like this. So it went up to the peak voltage, whatever the voltage. Assume that this is 5 volt, so you have applied 0 to 5 volt and then it will again come down. So we are still here at time t1. Once you elapse time t1, you can see the input voltage started reducing. So as we saw here, so when this starts giving the positive charge, whenever it starts discharging, because as the voltage reduces, this has to discharge. If this has to discharge, then this diode has to now take the negative charges back. Once it starts taking the negative charges back, the diode which was on will now ultimately become off. So now you can see the diode will turn off now. So once the diode turns off, so the equivalent circuits will something look like this. So this is at t greater than t1. For any time greater than this t1, this is open circuited. When it is open circuited, what is V0? You can see V0, I can still write it as this is plus minus Vc. So by the time the input has reached, by the time t1 has elapsed, so what is the voltage across the capacitor? The voltage across the capacitor is 5 volt. So I can say Vc is equal to now 5 volt at time t is equal to t1. For any time greater than t1, diode is off. What is V0? As per your equation, so V0 I can write it as, so it is now plus minus, this is plus minus. Again, as per this equation, I can write V in is equal to Vc plus V0. So V0 is equal to V in minus Vc. Now you can see V in is now actually keep reducing. Assume that V in is 4 here, 3 here, 2 here, and then it is 0 here. So now what is the capacitor voltage? Capacitor voltage has charged to 5 volt. You can see the capacitor voltage has charged to 5 volt. Once the input voltage starts coming down less than 5, this open circuits and capacitor cannot discharge because it doesn't have a discharge path at all. Even though we said that a capacitor has to discharge like this, unless this is not connected to ground, it won't discharge. So this capacitor voltage which was charged to 5 volt will remain as 5 volts when the voltage start reducing. You can see it is now remaining as 5 volts. It is not coming down along with this. So why the capacitor voltage is not coming down is because this capacitor is not having a closed path for discharging, because this is open now. Why this is open is because the input voltage started reducing from 5. This has to give out the energy, meaning that whatever negative charges you have, so now this has to come down here. Once it comes down, this turns off. So you have this condition. Once this condition comes, suppose if your Vin is equal to, I'm just talking about between T and T1, sorry, between T1 and T2. For time between, okay, T1 and T2. So T less than T2 and then okay, T1 less than T. So this is the thing. So assume that now it is, the input voltage can be 4, it can be 3, it can be 2, it can be 1, it can be 0, but this is always 5 volt, always 5 volt. When it is 4, what is the voltage? 4 minus 5 is equal to 1 volt. Of course it is minus 1 volt, and you can see 3 minus 5 is equal to minus 2 volt, minus 3 volt, minus 4 volt, and minus 5 volt. What I'm saying is, if the input voltage is 4 volt, if the input voltage is 4 volt, what is the output voltage? It is minus 1. When the input voltage was at 5, the output voltage was 0. So when the input voltage goes to 4, output is minus 1. You can see output is minus 1. When the input is 3, when the input voltage is, assume that this is 4, this is 3, this is 2, this is 1, and this is 0. So as the input voltage is reducing, you can see the output voltage going keep on negative and negative. So once it goes to 0, the output voltage is at minus 5. If the input voltage goes still negative, so now we are talking about between T1 less than T and then less than T2. Suppose if you still consider T anything greater than T1 for any time beyond T1. Okay, let us take this is after 0. After 0, what you have? Well, this is still 0. After 0, what you have? Vin is equal to minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Even when it is negative, the diode is off. When the diode is off, you have this condition still existing. The capacitor voltage is still holding at 5 volts. So now this is your Vin minus of 5. You can see it was minus 5 when this was 0. When it is minus 1, V0 is actually minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. When it is minus 4, it is minus 9. The voltage can be minus 5 also. In such case, it is minus 10. What I mean to say is, when the input voltage is minus 5, the output is at minus 10. Minus 10. It's at minus 10. See now, afterwards when it just goes above to next cycle, when it goes to next cycle, you are there at 5. Even during this entire, of course, let us go to this 0 now, from this minus 5 to 0. Then, so when this is 0, you have it at minus 5. When this goes to 5, you can see you still have the same condition that diode is still off for the entire period. So it will go here. So if you can carefully see here, this 5 volt of your input voltage has been shifted to 0 volt. This minus 5 has been shifted to minus 10. Apart from this first quarter of the cycle, can you see the output voltage is always below the input voltage by 5 volts, which is nothing but the peak voltage. We will say in this particular case, the positive peak of the input voltage has been clamped to 0 volt. So in this particular circuit, if you have a circuit something like this, this is V0, this is Vin, this is Vc, a capacitor. So what is the resultant of this circuit is, suppose if you apply input voltage which is having a zero offset voltage, if it is 5 volt, the output will look like something like this. So I'm not writing the first cycle, so this is exactly how it happens from the starting first cycle. So if you assume that, okay, you are already there in the nth cycle, so this is already maybe 10 milliseconds. So assume that if it is 0 second, this is how it happens. Suppose prior to this, if you have already had some waveforms, suppose if you are seeing from somewhere in the middle, if you see the output voltage, when it is 0, it will be minus 5. So it will be minus 5. When it is 5, it will be 0. When it is 0, it is again minus 5. When it is minus 5, it is minus 10. If you can clearly have a look at it, this one, see, when the input is 5 volt, output is 0. When the input is minus 5, this is minus 10. This is 0 volt. When the input is 0, you have minus 5. If you carefully observe the peak of this and peak of this, can you see now, positive peak is clamped to 0 volt. 0 volt. You can see now this has been tied to 0 volt. So this way we can able to find out how does the a circuit which is of something of this nature, that is a capacitor and a diode, will going to clamp the waveform to any required level. Of course, we are not yet seen to any required level. In the first initial circuit, we are trying to see how does this sinusoidal waveform will look like at the output after some cycle. Maybe after first quarter of the cycle, this is how it looks. Maybe we'll just go to a simulation of the same circuit and then try to understand how it happens. Okay, you can see I have rigged up the same circuit here. Let me just move this slightly apart. Okay, we are trying to see how does the waveform okay, let me run this. You can see this is a sinusoidal waveform of for 10 volt amplitude 50 hertz signal. So I want to see only one cycle, that's why I just made it made this stop time as 20 millisecond, which corresponds to only one cycle. But of course I have a diode. Of course, in this particular case, now diode is having some cut-in voltage. Let us see what is the slight difference between the analysis that what we have made here and then the analysis that what you want to see with a practical circuit. So let me just go here and then let me run this. If I run it, okay, at the input I have a sinusoidal waveform. You can see this is, let me label this as in and out so that we can able to see what is this is in. I can type it here and then have one more sorry, let me have one more label for output and just put it here. Okay, you can see, let me run this again. Let me have the input. You can see this is output. Let me just see how it happens. Let me also see what is the current that is flowing through this diode, so that I can able to make out when does the diode is on and off and all those stuff. And let me also see the voltage across the capacitor. This is V in minus V0. This is perfect. Maybe let me just put it in different panes so that let me put the input here. Let me put the current also in the same pane. Let us try to understand. Let me just zoom it out here. So when the input voltage, you can see the input voltage is green one, it is keep on increasing. Let me just do that back here. You can see as the input voltage keep on increasing, since we are considering a typical diode having a cut-in voltage of 0.6 or 0.7 volts. You can see as the input voltage keep increasing, let me just make you people understand. You can see the input voltage is now around 120 millivolt. You can see the current is still 0. Let me just see the current also. Let me just show you both of them. Okay, this is moving on the what is that, input, and this is on the output line. Can you see this is moving on the green one? Let me now concentrate on this portion of my graph where what is happening. See now, this is my input voltage keep increasing. Just have an eye on this. See here, this is cursor 2. Cursor 2 is my input voltage. Just have a look at this. Sorry, cursor 1 is input voltage. You can see this is V in, this is I of D1. So whenever I'm there, whenever the input voltage is less, you can see the current is in terms of picoampere. So current is in terms of picoampere, meaning that diode is off. So diode turns on. You can see this is the voltage at which diode starts conducting. You can see now the diode current has increased. Now it has become milliampere. So that will happen when the input voltage is around. You can see this is the input voltage when it is 632 millivolt. When it is 632 millivolt, current starts increasing and it goes to peak when the input voltage is around 860 millivolt. So whenever the diode starts conducting, you can see the diode has started conducting. So when the diode has started conducting, so we saw that so when the diode started conducting, the current peaks up. So the current is peaking like this and it goes to maximum current. So once the current goes to maximum current, so what happens is current is keep flowing, this current is keep flowing here. So if you can carefully observe, the current has now started coming down. If you can clearly observe, where is that? Let me just go to this circuit. Okay, let me just write the equivalent circuit, what happens when the diode is on for a typical circuit. So what I'll have now is, this is my, just a minute, let me just show you. The diode is on. What we have is, this is my capacitor, and of course this diode will have that. Okay, this is my R on, which is few ohms of resistance, and then of course this is my capacitor. The capacitor voltage has now started picking up, and this is your V input voltage. So input voltage is keep increasing. So here the current has gone to its peak, the current ID has gone to its peak, so the input voltage also started increasing. When the input voltage started increasing, so you know that this is VD on, this is VD on, whatever voltage across the diode you have is VD on. When the voltage starts increasing, so we know that, so the capacitor voltage, so if you can write what is V out is equal to, V out is nothing but V in minus Vc, because this V out when the diode is on is equal to always VD, is always equal to VD on when the diode is on. So when this is equal to VD on, so then what is Vc? Vc is equal to V in minus V out, which is nothing but V in minus Vd on. Suppose if this, we know that, okay, V in is varying, V in is a sinusoidal waveform, and Vd on is 0.7 or so on. So suppose if the input voltage is 5, because the input voltage can be 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, of course it can keep on going down. As long as that is happening for this first half cycle, can you see here the capacitor voltage is always less than the input voltage by 0.6 or 0.7 volts. So that's what you can see in the first quarter of the cycle. In the first quarter of the cycle, if you can just make sure that, okay, see here, this is my capacitor voltage. If you can carefully note this, so V in minus V out, because I'm measuring the capacitor voltage across these two terminals, because this is V in minus V out. Because how did I measure is this is my capacitor voltage. So since this is my capacitor voltage, if you can carefully note this capacitor voltage, okay, so here as the input voltage is increasing, capacitor voltage is also increasing, and it goes to a point which is maximum. If you can see, this capacitor voltage is maximum of Vp minus Vd on. So what is Vp now? The peak voltage is 10, Vd on is 0.6 or 0.7. Can you see it is now 9.3, which is 10 minus 0.7. The capacitor has reached its maximum peak, which is nothing but Vp minus Vd on. Till this point diode is on. See now, once the input voltage started reducing, so once the input voltage started reducing, as we saw here, once the input voltage started reducing here, this diode turns off. This diode turns off. How to make out whether the diode is turning off or not? In this case, you can see this is the voltage where your capacitor, sorry, the input voltage started reducing. Can you notice here? This is coming down here now. It was it's actually 10 now. So it is now it's not 5 volt. It is peak voltage 10. When it is now 9.5, 9, 8.5. When the input voltage started reducing, can you see the current has become 0 here? This is my diode current. Diode current 0 means it is diode is off. When the diode is off, you are there in this situation. You are there in this situation. When you are there in this situation, whatever voltage the capacitor has charged. Now in this particular case, it has charged to 9.3 volt. The capacitor voltage will remain at 9.3 volt. If you can see in this simulation, can you see this is my capacitor voltage which is remaining at 9.3 volts once the capacitor started, once the input voltage started coming down. You can see it's almost at 9.3. See here, this is 9.3. Why it is 9.3 means because capacitor is not having any path for discharging, so that's why it remains at 9.3 volt. What I mean to say is, only for the first quarter of the cycle capacitor charges, and during only that period your diode is on, the diode current is maximum at 0.7 and it is keep on reducing as the input voltage increases. Why this current reduces means as you increase the capacitor voltage, the entire voltage will be accumulated, will be get stored in your capacitor. So you'll be left out with very less voltage across the diode. So once the input voltage crosses the peak, the diode turns off. When the diode turns off, the capacitor is not having any path for discharging, so it remains at 0.7 volt. Sorry, not 0.7. The capacitor voltage will be Vp minus Vd1. Vp minus Vd1. In this case, it is, you can see, 9.3 volts. So if I go back to this, during the only the first quarter of the cycle, okay, let us just redo it again. Let me just say this is my input voltage increasing from 0 to 10 and then it is coming down to 0 and then going down to minus 10. Let me see how does the capacitor charges. You can see how does the capacitor is charging. Can you see here the capacitor is keep increasing along with that? Okay, once it, okay, you can see till 0.7 the diode is off, means the capacitor is not started charging. Capacitor starts charging once the diode turns on. You can see diode turns on here, capacitor is keep on charging. When the capacitor is charging, capacitor is always charged to a voltage input minus Vd1. So when it reaches the peak, when the input reaches the peak, diode turns off. When the diode turns off, capacitor stops discharging. Of course, it doesn't have any path for neither discharge or charge. We can also see how does the current goes there. We can also add a trace which corresponds to ID of D1. Can you see here? This current spikes up because till this point diode is off. Diode suddenly switches on with almost 0.7 as the voltage across it, and then as the input voltage keep on increasing, since the capacitor voltage is charging, you are left out with very less voltage for your diode to have across it. Then the current is keep reducing and it becomes 0. Once it becomes 0, the diode is off. Once the diode is off, you can see the capacitor voltage is remaining constant there. Suppose if you want to now see what is the output voltage, I can see the output voltage now. I will add a trace which is my output. See now, this is my first half, the first quarter of the cycle. Afterwards, you can see that when the input voltage is 0, the output voltage is, let me just put one on input, one on output. Can you see this is input is 0, output is minus 5. You can see this is okay, not okay, this is, let me just put one on this. Okay, this is channel 2. Channel 2 is my output and channel 1 is my input. Okay, let me just coincide these two. You can see channel 1 is input, this is output. When the input is almost 0, can you see now this is almost 9.3 volt. As you keep on increasing the input voltage negative wise, output is also keep reducing. When it goes to minus 10 volt, this is minus 10 plus of minus 9.7. That will be the voltage. If you can see here, this is minus 19.3. So how you're getting this minus 19.3 is it's actually this way. If I go back to this, the capacitor voltage Vc is equal to okay, it is now, if you can see this, this is my V out, so V in minus V out. So Vc is always charged to 9.3 volt. 9.3 volt. If you want to find what is V naught, okay, I want to know what is V out is equal to. V out is actually V, this is plus minus Vc, this is V in, and this is my V naught. V out is plus minus. It is V in minus Vc. So now V in is your sinusoidal waveform, and this is 9.3. Assume that this is minus 10 volt. If this is minus 10, you already have a Vc of minus 9.3. Of course, 9.3. Can you see it is now minus 19.3? Suppose if this is minus 5, So then it is minus 5 minus 9.3. Can you see now it is minus 14.3? Okay, you can just simultaneously see that over here. See when the input voltage is this is minus 10, this is moving on the input voltage. Can you see the corresponding output? Input is minus 10, you can see it's almost minus 19.3. If the input is 0, this is at minus 9.7. Can you see this is at minus 9.7, almost there? Can you see this is almost 9 point, of course this is not exactly at 0. Suppose if the input voltage is at minus 5, now it is minus 4.4, minus 4.4 plus of minus 9.3 would be the the output voltage. The gray color is the output voltage. You can see this is output voltage. You can see now this plus minus 9 point something would be the output voltage. Okay, we will just simulate. Okay, this is the first one cycle. If you simulate for larger cycles and then if you don't see the first cycle, you can see how it looks. What I'll do, I will simulate for 2 period. I'll simulate for 2 period and let me save it from 5 nanosecond. Sorry, 5 millisecond. I will not see the first quarter. I don't want to see the first quarter. You can see how it looks. You can see this is your output voltage. You can see the output voltage. Of course, since I'm not seeing from 0 second, of course this is still saying it as 0 second, but I have just made this equal to of course if you just go back and see, so start saving from 5 millisecond. So from 5 to 35 I'm seeing, so from 5 to 35 millisecond only I'm seeing, so that's why it is sorry 5 to 40 milliseconds, so totally 35 millisecond. So since I'm not seeing the first quarter of the cycle, I cannot see the capacitor going up to 5 volts. You can clearly observe one thing over here. Can you see once it goes to this point, so before it goes to next peak, you can see the current is still increasing. Why this is increasing is, if you carefully note this output voltage of your capacitor, can you see the capacitor voltage has slightly decreased? Because the capacitor voltage is not 9.3 for the entire period, because there is a path through the diode for it to discharge. So it is slightly discharging. Because even though we said that capacitor doesn't have any path for discharging here when the diode is off, because there is some very high resistance, the capacitor will still lose some charge. So that will be very, very small. So that whatever charge it has lost, it will again regain in the next half cycle. So in the next cycle, so that's what is seen here. Can you see here? This is again regaining the charge. So it again, if you can carefully notice this charge here, you can see it is 9.3. If I'm just keep moving, can you see that 9.3 has become? Can you see now it has how much? Okay, this is on. This has reduced to very small voltage. This is cursor 2. Cursor 2 is 9 point. This is 9.3557. You can see it is. This is cursor 1. Let me just only see this one. So just give me 1 minute. I will delete others. I'll take out this. I will take out this. I will take out this also. Can you see here? The capacitor voltage has. I can see it is almost very slightly reduced. Then the capacitor again charge. You can see the amount of charge it has lost. The amount of voltage it has lost is very, very less. Suppose in the actual circuit, what will happen is you're going to have a resistor. Which is coming across this, which will be pretty high in value. What I'll do is let me connect that much more practical circuit where it will going to have some load resistance. I will connect this. I will have a resistance of 10k. You can see whenever it is 10k, you can see that it is losing some charge. So now you can see the capacitor has lost the charge even when the diode is off. You can see this is losing the charge because it has got one path for your capacitor discharge. So whenever it loses the charge, if you see this, can you see now this again current is increasing, the diode is on. So till this point capacitor is discharged. So when the diode is off, when the diode again turns on, you can see capacitor is again charging. This is how it happens in the practical case. If you make this more and more, if you make it 100k, you can see the amount of, now you can see it is losing from 9.4 to almost 7.8. Suppose if I increase the resistance, the amount of what charge that is lost will be less. You can see now it will be reduced. Can you see now it is from 9.3 to hardly 9.16 volts. So you are still losing some voltage. You can see the shape remains the same, but the thing is the amount of voltage that is lost by the capacitor is less. Of course it again regains to the previous value. So this way we can able to get the output voltage which is clamped to a positive reference. So let me just take out all others except the input and output. I will delete this current. Okay, let me just delete the current here. Can you see this is my input voltage which is blue in color. Let me just take this in different color. This is green. You can see this is input voltage, it's about 0. You can see the output voltage when it is peak, this voltage is 0. Of course you can see this is the capacitor voltage which is fairly remaining constant. If you can clearly observe that, can you see this is slightly reducing? Can you see there is a jump here, there is a slight jump. So this is that which corresponds to the charging of a capacitor during the next cycle, Okay, in the next video we'll see a few more combinations of clamping the input voltage to different voltage levels. Now we have seen that the input positive voltage has been clamped to 0. We will see, okay, how do we clamp other peaks to different voltages, or instead of clamping this to 0 volt, can I clamp it above, can I clamp it below, all those things we'll have a look.